Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso, surprised many by appointing Apollinaire Joachim Kyélem de Tambèla as his prime minister. Kyélem de Tambèla is a lawyer, writer, and political figure known for his critical stance on colonialism and advocacy for Pan-Africanism. He is considered an intellectual with deep-rooted views on Burkina Faso's sovereignty and independence from Western influence. In this exclusive video, we delve deep into the fascinating story of Prime Minister Apollinaire Tambèla, the intellectual mastermind behind President Ibrahim Traore and his successful reforms. Apollinaire Joachim Kyélem de Tambèla's current role places him at the forefront of the nation's political and economic transformation. Known for his bold and controversial stances, Kyélem de Tambèla has garnered a reputation as a polemist and a staunch Sankarist, advocating for the principles of the late revolutionary leader, Thomas Sankara. In this video, we will delve into his biography, his unexpected rise to power, his relationship with President Ibrahim Traore, his role in the alliance of Sahel states, and what he brings to the table for Burkina Faso's future. Please watch this video to the end, as you will get to hear many quotes from Tambèla on various issues and to understand the synergy between him and President Ibrahim Traore. Apollinaire Joachim Kyélem de Tambèla, a name now synonymous with bold leadership and transformative politics in Burkina Faso, was born into a modest family. His early life was marked by the values of hard work and resilience, instilled by his parents, who were deeply rooted in the local community. But what early influences shaped his political ideology and set him on the path to becoming a key figure in Burkina Faso's government? Kyélem de Tambèla's educational journey began in local schools, where his keen intellect and curiosity quickly set him apart. He pursued higher education with a fervor, eventually earning degrees in political science and law. His academic pursuits took him to prestigious institutions, where he was exposed to diverse political theories and ideologies. But it was the teachings of Thomas Sankara, the revolutionary leader of Burkina Faso, that left an indelible mark on him. Apollinaire Kyélem de Tambèla is known for his outspokenness and iconoclastic positions. How did these early influences shape his vision for leadership and governance? Immersed in Sankarist principles, Kyélem de Tambèla developed a passion for social justice, economic independence, and anti-imperialism. These formative years laid the foundation for his future role in politics, where he would champion the cause of the underprivileged and advocate for radical reforms. His educational background, combined with his deep-rooted beliefs, equipped him with the tools to navigate the complex landscape of African politics and governance. Before we continue, just a gentle reminder to like and share our videos. Also, subscribe if you haven't done so, to stay informed on the latest African economic, political, and social developments, and explore how global geopolitics impact the continent. Apollinaire Kyélem de Tambèla's entry into politics was nothing short of transformative for Burkina Faso. His journey began with a deep-seated commitment to social justice and economic reform, inspired by the revolutionary ideals of Thomas Sankara. But how did this visionary leader rise to prominence in the complex landscape of African politics? Kyélem de Tambèla first made his mark as a vocal advocate for the underprivileged, leveraging his legal expertise to champion the rights of marginalized communities. His early political career saw him holding key positions within various socialist movements, where his strategic acumen and innovative thinking quickly set him apart. What strategies did he employ to navigate the turbulent waters of Burkina Faso's political scene? Before ascending to the role of Prime Minister, Kyélem de Tambèla served in several influential capacities. He was a prominent member of the National Assembly, where he spearheaded numerous legislative reforms aimed at promoting social equity and economic independence. His tenure as Minister of Justice further solidified his reputation as a bold reformer. unafraid to challenge entrenched power structures. Central to Kyélem de Tambéla's political ideology is his unwavering commitment to Sankarist principles. This socialist vision emphasizes self-reliance, anti-imperialism, and the equitable distribution of resources. How has this ideology shaped his approach to governance and policymaking? The appointment of Apollinaire Kyélem de Tambèla as the Prime Minister of Burkina Faso marked a significant turning point in the nation's political landscape. But what were the circumstances leading to this bold decision, and how did the public and political spheres react? In a strategic move by President Ibrahim Troare, Kyélem de Tambèla was chosen to lead the government during a period of intense socio-political transformation. Known for his unwavering commitment to Sankarist principles and his reputation as a polemist, his appointment was seen as a signal of the administration's dedication to radical reforms and innovation in governance. The public reaction was mixed. Supporters hailed his selection as a genius move, bringing a fresh vision and bold leadership to the forefront of Burkina Faso's politics. The young Captain Traore's decision was centered first and foremost around popularity. In Burkina, it is impossible not to have heard of Tambèla. Although he writes under a pseudonym for one of the country's biggest daily newspapers, he's been making a name for himself in the audiovisual media for several years. Listeners of Radio Liberté, Savane FM, and Horizon FM all know the voice of this man who used to host programs there. On television, he has been at the helm of Press Echoes and 7 Infos on BFI TV, not to mention all the debates in which he agrees to participate. The media sees Tambèla as a good customer, as he rarely refuses an invitation, is not afraid to take a stand, and defends often iconoclastic ideas. Some of his students at the École nationale de l'administration et de la magistrature call him crazy, as he is not afraid to make waves. Nourished by revolutionary ideas, he is described as a Sankarist at heart. However, when President Sankara called him in the 1980s, asking him to join his cabinet, Tambèla refused. The young man wanted to devote himself to his studies and decided to move away from Burkina Faso to France, where he settled for several years, before moving to Canada. From afar, he nevertheless continued to actively support the revolution. He created the Comité de défense de la Révolution Nice-Côte d'Azur, which provided financial support to the regime. In France, he became involved in left-wing student unions and joined the Union nationale des étudiants de France and the Union des étudiants communistes. In 1988, he published Thomas Sankara et la Révolution au Burkina Faso, une expérience de développement autocentré, Thomas Sankara and the Revolution in Burkina Faso, an experiment in self-centered development, of which Bruno Jaffray, a specialist in Burkina Faso's history, said that, if it were not for the difficulties in distributing it, this book would have had everything it takes to become the reference book on the Burkinabe Revolution. That same year, he also published Coopération et Développement Autocentré, which retraces the long path of diplomatic relations and state sovereignty in the world. In 2007, he published Relations diplomatiques et souveraineté with Le Harmattan. Apollinaire Kyélem de Tambèla, Prime Minister of Burkina Faso, has earned a reputation as a formidable polemist in the arena of African politics. But what makes his leadership style so controversial, and how has it shaped Burkina Faso's political landscape? Known for his bold and often provocative statements, Kyélem de Tambèla has not shied away from challenging the status quo. His outspoken nature has both galvanized supporters and ruffled feathers among the political elite. One might ask, is this a calculated strategy to drive change, or a reflection of his unwavering commitment to his ideals? The public perception of Kyélem de Tambèla's controversial approach is divided. Many see him as a breath of fresh air in a stagnant political system, praising his courage to speak truth to power. Others view his statements as divisive and potentially destabilizing. How does this polarization impact governance and reform efforts in Burkina Faso? Undeniably, Kyélem de Tambela's polemical style has transformed political discourse in the country. His influence has sparked debates on crucial issues such as sovereignty, economic independence, and regional cooperation. Now, do you know that the first thing he did after his appointment was to ask President Traore to slash his salary as the president? What a civilian with so much audacity. However, in agreement, Traore maintained his salary as army captain. Isn't that amazing? President Ibrahim Traore's decision to appoint Kyélem de Tambela was seen as a daring strategy, signaling a shift towards more radical governance. His selection raised eyebrows both domestically and internationally. But was this a stroke of genius or a political gamble? How has this approach influenced the country's development and reform agenda? Perhaps most surprising are the key decisions that have emerged under his tenure. From Burkina Faso's withdrawal from ECOWAS to the formation of the Alliance of Sahel States, Kyélem de Tambela has not shied away from transformative actions. But how is his relationship with President Traore? At first glance, Kyélem de Tambela and Traore appear aligned in their vision for a sovereign, self-reliant Burkina Faso. Both leaders share a commitment to Sankarist principles and a determination to combat terrorism. However, beneath this surface of unity, are there subtle differences in their approaches? Their collaboration has already yielded significant results, such as Burkina Faso's withdrawal from ECOWAS and the formation of the Alliance of Sahel States. These bold moves suggest a harmonious working relationship. From economic reforms to security strategies, their combined influence is reshaping Burkina Faso's trajectory. In the ever-evolving landscape of African politics, Burkina Faso's Prime Minister Apollinaire Kyélem de Tambela has emerged as a key architect of regional transformation. At the heart of this transformation lies the Alliance of Sahel States, a bold initiative uniting Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Kyélem de Tambela, working closely with President Ibrahim Traore, has been instrumental in forging this new path. Under Kyélem de Tambela's influence, Burkina Faso has played a pivotal role in shaping the Alliance of Sahel States' vision. From security cooperation to economic integration, his strategic thinking is evident in the alliance's ambitious agenda. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Apollinaire Kyélem de Tambela, Burkina Faso has embarked on a transformative economic journey. But what key initiatives define his economic strategy? And how does he plan to tackle development and poverty reduction? Kyélem de Tambela's economic policies are rooted in the principles of self-reliance and innovation. He has prioritized local production and industrialization, aiming to reduce dependency on imports and foster domestic economic growth. His strategy includes significant investments in agriculture, infrastructure, and renewable energy, all designed to create jobs and stimulate sustainable development. The Prime Minister's approach to development is holistic, focusing on both economic and social dimensions. Poverty reduction programs are at the forefront, with efforts to improve education, healthcare, and social services. By addressing the root causes of poverty, Kyélem de Tambela aims to uplift the most vulnerable segments of society. But what challenges does he face in implementing these ambitious reforms? Despite the bold vision, Kyélem de Tambela's economic agenda has encountered obstacles, including limited resources and regional instability. However, his innovative strategies and strong management skills have already yielded notable successes, such as increased agricultural productivity and improved infrastructure. On foreign policy, Prime Minister Apollinaire Kyélem de Tambela's foreign policy approach is both strategic and transformative, reflecting a bold vision for Burkina Faso's place in global affairs. But what stance does he take on international relations? and how has it impacted the nation's standing? Kyélem de Tambèla advocates for a foreign policy rooted in sovereignty and regional cooperation. Kyélem de Tambèla's statements often emphasize the need for self-reliance and mutual support among African nations, challenging traditional power dynamics and external dependencies. This approach has significantly enhanced Burkina Faso's influence on the global stage, positioning it as a key player in the Sahel region. Under the bold leadership of Prime Minister Apollinaire Kyélem de Tambèla, Burkina Faso has witnessed a series of transformative domestic reforms. Kyélem de Tambèla's administration has prioritized comprehensive reforms aimed at social justice and economic development. Key initiatives include land reform to ensure equitable access to resources, investment in local industries to boost economic self-sufficiency, and extensive social programs to improve healthcare and education. How have these reforms reshaped the socio-economic landscape of Burkina Faso? However, the reception of Kyélem de Tambèla's reforms has been mixed. While many citizens laud his visionary approach and commitment to change, some opposition figures criticize the pace and execution of these initiatives. Despite these challenges, his leadership continues to inspire hope and drive transformation. Some critics have accused Kyélem de Tambèla of adopting a confrontational approach, particularly in his dealings with international partners. His bold stance on regional alliances, exemplified by Burkina Faso's withdrawal from ECOWAS and the formation of the Alliance of Sahel States, has drawn both praise and concern. Domestically, some opposition figures question the pace and direction of his reforms. Yet, Kyélem de Tambèla remains steadfast in his vision, often addressing controversies head-on with his characteristic outspokenness. This approach has polarized public opinion, but has it strengthened or weakened his effectiveness as a leader? As we assess the tenure of Prime Minister Apollinaire Kyélem de Tambèla, it's clear that his leadership has ushered in a new era for Burkina Faso. Working alongside President Ibrahim Troare, he has steered the nation towards a path of increased sovereignty and regional cooperation. But what will be the lasting impact of his bold vision and strategies? Kyélem de Tambèla's legacy is already taking shape through the formation of the Alliance of Sahel States. Looking ahead, the potential long-term impact of Kyélem de Tambèla's policies on Burkina Faso's development and security is profound. His emphasis on self-reliance and regional cooperation could set a new standard for governance in Africa. But will these ambitious reforms yield the desired results in the face of ongoing challenges? As for Kyélem de Tambèla's political future, much depends on the success of his current initiatives. Will his bold approach continue to inspire confidence among the Burkinabe people? Only time will tell if his transformative vision will secure his place as a long-term leader in Burkina Faso's political landscape. Apollinaire Kyélem de Tambèla's tenure as Prime Minister of Burkina Faso has been marked by bold leadership and transformative vision. His commitment to Sankarist principles, regional cooperation, and economic self-reliance has reshaped Burkina Faso's political landscape. The formation of the Alliance of Sahel States with Mali and Niger, culminating in the historic Niamey Summit on July 6, 2024, stands as a testament to his strategic influence. While facing criticism and challenges, Kyélem de Tambèla's impact on Burkina Faso's governance and regional standing is undeniable. As the nation navigates complex security and economic issues, his leadership, alongside President Ibrahim Traore, continues to drive significant change. Kyélem de Tambèla's legacy will likely be defined by his efforts to forge a new path for Burkina Faso, emphasizing sovereignty, regional integration, and socio-economic development. As always, I appreciate you tuning in and letting me break down these complex geopolitical topics. Let me know what you think about the issues down in the comments below. Looking forward to that discussion. Please like this video, share it, subscribe to our channel, and we will see you in our next video. I leave you with 7 notable quotes from Kyélem de Tambèla on relations with Russia. Russia is a reasonable choice in this dynamic, while discussing the potential for a closer partnership. On strengthening military alliances, if we have to make an alliance, it's better to have it with Russia, to counter threats posed by terrorist groups in the region. On Pan-Africanism, we have to accept that we are poor, that we have to stay together, that we have to build together, and that only together we can win. On international relations, the time has come for us to free ourselves from being captive partners of a single country, whoever it may be. On Burkina Faso's future, we need to build a future where our youth have opportunities, not just dreams, where every Burkinabe can see a place for themselves in our national story. On Burkina Faso's independence and foreign influence, we do not want to be pawns in the game of others. Burkina Faso must chart its own path, free from external dictates. On the Sahel region's security challenges, the fight against terrorism is not just about weapons, but also about winning hearts and minds. We must ensure that our citizens feel safe and valued in their own country. On economic development, our economic policies should be geared towards empowerment, creating jobs, and fostering innovation. We must invest in sectors that will bring sustainable growth. On national unity, Burkina Faso is strong because of its diversity. We must harness this diversity to build a nation where everyone feels included and respected. On international partnerships, on environmental concerns, protecting our environment is crucial for our survival. We must adopt policies that safeguard our natural resources for future generations. On education and youth empowerment, education is the cornerstone of our development. We must ensure that our youth are equipped with the skills needed to compete in a globalized world.